Pippity. Whoppa! Hiya! Whatcha! Good morning. Good morning, no one. Because obviously nobody's here yet. Just barely started the stream. How we doing? Again, nobody's here to answer me. I should shut up and just eat my oatmeal. That's what I should do. Hello, humans. I'm eating oatmeal. Polly. Today's poll. Yo, Marvel Avengers. What's up? Oh no, I didn't want to undo that. Yeah, there we go. Undo the undo. There we go. What's up, what's up, what's up? How y'all? Batu Hunderman is here. Willie's here too. Wow. We had a couple of people showing up. Hi everybody. Good morning. Good Monday. Happy Cyber Monday to everybody. How's everybody's weekend of I don't know, consumerism going? / gone? How has that been? I hope it's been good. My tea is going, right? My tea is going, yes. Hi, Aaron. What's up? What is one thing in your life that needs to change? I'm just going to put this one. Cularis has us hit with a good one. That's pretty good, bud. Consistency to study more often. That's a tough one, too. Alright, I'll let that go for a moment. Certainly, the mess is the one for me. It's just a mess, you know? I create it everywhere I go, and it takes so much effort. It takes so much effort to put it back where? Okay. So while that's going, and while people are filtering in slowly and joining us for the stream and the poll, I'll just mention what's been happening the last couple of days on my end. In utter and complete honesty. So this past weekend was a toughie, because since Thursday, which was Thanksgiving itself, Thursday Thanksgiving was relatively chill, but that's when prep started. And we didn't really do a lot of Thanksgiving stuff, just prep started. And then Thursday, Friday, and most of Saturday were prep. And then Saturday afternoon, people started to show up. And a whole bunch of people showed up. A whole bunch of people that I know and don't know. Lots of close friends, and a few new ones as well, which was very interesting to see. There were a couple of interesting groups or couples that showed up. Specifically couples, which I find odd and interesting. One young couple of people who were very interesting to be around. Young, attractive, well-meaning folks. And both of them had a really hard time just saying what they did for work. I found this really interesting. I asked these people, so what do you do for work? And I got a mumbling, bumbling mess of doublespeak out of both of them. First was like, oh, I'm in search engine optimization. It's like, okay, I know what that is. You know, the classic, where it's like, you answer the question, but you assume that the person asking the question isn't going to know how you're answering. It's like, okay, I know how you're answering, and I'd like to know what you mean by search engine optimization. Where in that do you work? Do you work on the computing, on the nitty-gritty, on the AI, on the coding? Where are you working? And it's like, no, I work in sales and marketing. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Got it. So you're on the people front. management? He's like, yeah, project management. Okay, so we dug down into that one. The wife I could not figure out because she said she's in renewals. It's like, okay, what do you mean renewals? Well, insurance renewals. Like, okay, what do you mean insurance renewals? Well, I call people and ask them to renew their insurance. Like, oh, okay, so you're basically what you meant was telemarketer. Like, yeah, kind of. I found that really interesting. I don't care what the people do. I'm not trying to throw shade on their particular careers, but each of them seemed ashamed of their career. Or current job, at least. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's any shame in working in marketing and stuff for a search engine optimization company. I don't think it's the best thing that you could do with your life, but I don't think there's any shame in it. But from the phrasing, from the way that they spoke back, it felt to me as though they felt that there was shame in it. I wonder how many people are in jobs that they don't feel comfortable telling everybody that they do. I've struggled with that myself to some extent. It's like, it's hard to describe what I do in some ways. And when I say, well, I'm a YouTuber, people get a particular idea. And if you say I'm a content creator, people get a very different particular idea. At least I'm male, so people don't immediately think OnlyFans, but people definitely also think OnlyFans, which is quite funny. And I guess flattering. I guess I should be flattered, right? The idea that I even could be making money off of such a thing. Very flattering. But I've struggled with that because if I say I make YouTube videos, it's like, okay, well, what kind of YouTube videos? And then it's like, well, I make anime reactions. And people are like, okay, I know exactly what that means. It's like, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't, actually. You got no clue what that means. Because there are like a couple thousand people doing what I do, and ain't nobody doing what I do. Nobody. The closest people are the people who are making like video essays, really. Or psychulturists, right? Because he's doing the deep dives. There are a couple of people getting close, or who have been already close, right? But I'm aimed at a slightly different goal than I think most of them. It's like, what do I do? Oh, it's a good question. What you do is who you really are, isn't it? And so how you introduce yourself in terms of what you do is pretty interesting. The second couple that showed up that I found very interesting to be around was a slightly older couple. Not old folks. I would put them, if I had to guess, mid-40s. And I knew that this guy was coming, and I was quite intrigued because my roommate, the more impressionable of my roommates, had been to his house and had befriended him very recently. And I don't know for what reason. I know that this guy is a dentist and that he's done some of the teeth of some of the people in the family that I'm a part of now. So that's cool. But he showed up, and I had this idea of who this person was going to be because my roommate had expressed to him like, ooh, first off, we got to keep the weed away. We got to put that away because we want to make sure that this guy doesn't see it. And it's like, okay, interesting. I'll happily we'll do that off to the side, no sweat, and we'll just make sure that that's not an overwhelming thing. Hi, Hixar. But he's a dentist. It's like, yeah, he's a dentist. Like, okay, I'd probably like to show him the vaporizer anyway and see what he thinks of it. I am a tea boy, lol. I make money by bringing people their tea. At first, I was uncomfortable with telling people what I do, but now I am okay with it, says Batuhan Derman. That's great, man. I'm glad that you're okay with telling people what you do. When you say, do you mean you work at a tea shop and so you're bringing people you're serving? Do you make wages or tips or both? Anyway, I'll continue on with this guy. My roommate had said, you know, this guy's really something. He's really something else. Been to his house and he's got, the way that he expressed it was, he's got so much tequila. He's got so much tequila. The guy's a connoisseur of tequila, and he's got the means, given that he's a dentist, to fulfill his desires on that front. And it was, you know, my roommate's like, oh my God, he let me try this incredible tequila. It's like $2,000 a bottle. It's fucking crazy. It's like, yeah, that's crazy. That's expensive tequila. Very cool that you got to have this interesting experience that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Very neat. I'd like to meet this man. So there's all this build up for who this guy is in my head. It's like, oh, very, very wealthy, on the nose, on point guy. He's got a wife. He's got 2 daughters. He shows up, and immediately he stands out. Not because of his behavior or because of his features, but because he's got a beautiful woman on his arm. His wife is lovely. She's gorgeous. And she's pretty decked out. They're dressed not to go out, but to like business casual almost. Not business casual. Casual wealthy? I don't know. Nice jeans, nice shoes, nice shirt, nice jacket, bits of jewelry understated. Health and fitness on point in both of them. He's wearing a cardigan that could probably pay for all of the clothes that I'm wearing twice over. So I spent a while just hovering near these people and communicating with them and conversing with them. I found them fascinating. And the reason I found them fascinating is they were just people. Barely different from anyone else. It's just the trappings, it's just the clothing, it's just the look. But with all of those things, those are all representations of a set of actions, of a way of being. And at core, that couple has an effective way of being. They were together and communicative. No argumentation or fighting between them, not even a little bit. They frequently near whispered to one another, as if just parsing thoughts as one entity, unified. The child of the house was around, and they were zoned in on him immediately, given that they had been parents before. But what struck me is, amongst all of my friends, nobody's wealthy. A couple people are well off enough, but nobody's wealthy. This guy walks in and he's not wealthy either. He's okay, I'd say. Certainly makes a couple $100,000 a year. Certainly has a couple $1 million in assets, at least, depending on how well he does with currency. But that's not wealthy. And wealthy doesn't change a person that much. I've met wealthy people. I worked for wealthy people. Multi-millionaire Firefox co-founder, Bart. Good guy. Interesting guy. Fired me. Not really. He folded the company that we were working at, which was very sad. But he was wealthy. And he was just a person too. Just a person aimed toward gathering, accumulating, spreading, and generating significantly more wealth. Of all sorts and all varieties. What I found most interesting was that the gap was presented to me as being large. Here's this person who's out of our league, was the presentation that my roommate gave, basically. Man, you're not going to believe this guy. And eventually, as the night went on, he ended up coming over to my vaporizer, and I showed him how it worked. He was fascinated by it. I looked him in the eye. Striking eyes on this man, by the way. Brown, dark-skinned, seemingly full-blood Hispanic guy. South American Hispanic. Bright blue eyes. Strong European lineage of some kind. I don't know. Bright blue eyes. Dark Hispanic skin. A striking combination. Looked him right in the eye, and I asked him a couple of questions about dentistry. I asked him about nanohydroxyapatite. Apatite? Appetite? I don't know what it is. I got the stuff, this stuff. Hold on. I got this little bottle of the stuff. Advanced Whitening Chew Tabs Nano Hydroxy Apatite. Apatite. So, I got this a little while ago. It's a fluoride alternative, and it remineralizes your enamel. At least it's supposed to. Well, I was face to face with the dentist, so I asked him about it. What does he think about consumer grade nanohydroxyapatite stuff? And he blink, and then gave me a look like, it's the guilty look that a dog gets when the dog shits on the floor, was the look that he gave me. It was the look of like, I have no idea what the fuck that is, and I feel ashamed of it. That was an interesting look to see on the face of a man wearing a multi-$100 cardigan. An interesting look. So I told him what I thought about it, and that I had it, and I asked if he would look into it, and he said he absolutely would because he was interested, and that they're still using fluoride in his office, and he has no idea what this stuff is, or that it was commercially available, let alone over-the-counter available, and it is. And, well, that's pretty interesting to me. Now, obviously, he's got some other priorities, but there's something interesting about that. Wealth and power, clothing, vehicle, wife, world, all of it pales in comparison to the wealth of knowledge, of understanding. I wasn't trying to one-up the guy. I actually really wanted to know what he thought about nanohydroxyapatite, because I've been using it, and I'd like to get some more dentists' opinions on it, because I think this stuff is pretty awesome. I think it's great. I use it every couple of days, and my teeth are doing great. But it was an interesting set of conversations. And overall, our party, our Friendsgiving went very well. There were like 14 different pies. It was insane. And a cobbler. And a trifle. My landlord's sister baked 3 pies. She baked a pretty good apple pie. I can't remember what the other one is because I just didn't have any of it. No, actually, she only baked the 2 pies, and then there was something else that she brought. And then they brought like deep fried latkes with cheese on top and like bacon in them. Those were bonkers. They were like mashed potato latke fried cakes. Super good. Super good. She made a pie, a lime pie with cranberry lime pie, bright cranberry red colored pie with a ginger snap crust, and the actual filling of that pie tasted like key lime goddamn pie. And it was not key lime. It was lime and cranberry. So I learned that you can do that. You can put lime and cranberry together and make that shit, and it turns out tasting exactly like Florida key lime pie. Maybe better. Who knew? And it's a cool color. Bright red. Super neat. Delicious. She and her boyfriend got in an interesting argument. They were drinking quite a bit, and this young woman, is joking around with everybody. Very gregarious person, very like over the top. Whenever she's coming over, everybody's like, "Okay, everybody get ready. It's gonna be a thing." She's a lot of a person, but sort of playing around, being very flippant and jokey, and she said something to the effect of, and I'm not trying to out people or I'm not giving names or any, okay, you know what I mean? But she said something flippantly to the effect of like, well, sometimes a girl just wants to get smacked around. And her boyfriend's demeanor hard dropped. Her saying that hit a full wall in him. And from that moment, for the next like half hour, he was like, no, you can't talk about that. That's unacceptable. No chance. That's not the way that we do things. Like, fully missed the fun of the context. And more importantly, fully missed that his girlfriend was floating the idea of kinky stuff in a low pressure sort of way. And he shut down completely. And effectively shamed her for it. And so did almost everyone else in the room. As soon as she said it, I was going along with the joking of it. I was like, well, I guess you guys got to communicate about that. Pandora's box is open. You got to talk this shit through now. That's now an open door. I don't think they heard me at all. They were already lost and gone into their own spiraling conflict. Their own, I don't know, Puritanism and repression versus expressed desire for freedom. It was very interesting. And it would have been reasonable if he had been like, whoa, let's not talk about that in front of your friends and family. Let's not do that. That would have been more reasonable. Privacy, fine. But it wasn't that. It was, no, that is wrong, and I will never, and we should never, and we should never even talk about such things. Which is an interesting one, because it's like, I think the rule, don't hit women, good. In fact, the rule, don't hit people, very good. Very good rule. There are some exceptions to that rule, though. One of them is if the person is going to hurt you, defend yourself. The other one is if you have an effectively negotiated, consensually kinky relationship and both of you generate some sort of value or utility or joy or pleasure out of exploring such things, then it's kind of okay. Because it's, negotiated and consensual. But they're nowhere near there. And it made me realize how many people are nowhere near there. How many couples I know don't fucking communicate at all about anything. It was funny to see the other young married couple who was there as well, because the girl in that couple, immediately her eyes went wide and she fully clocked the conversation. She was just giggling the whole time, just giggling. The husband joined in with the no, not okay, not a thing sort of vibe. It was like, wow, you two need to communicate too. So then the question is raised. How many of the beautiful, happy couples and young folks that you see around you aren't beautiful or happy? They're just ignorant. And how much bliss can ignorance really be? Apparently quite a bit. But it seems like it's not the way to be, because it seems like you're going to run into a wall at some point. It's going to get real funky. But it was a really interesting evening of people watching, punctuated by an immense amount of food. The best damn turkey I have ever had was the turkey that we had on that day. And I got so much dark meat off of that turkey, so much cartilaginous material. It's fantastic and super useful because, well, Friday I burned myself to smithereens in the gym just working my ass off. And yesterday was the day that I had set aside, Sunday. I set Sunday aside, and I had set it aside since 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago is the last time that I used lysergic acid, LSD. Was 2 weeks ago, and I had used a very tiny dose of it as a microdose for experimentation. And then I took 2 weeks off because, well, I'd been using it quite a bit, and I wanted a break and to let my mind regather itself and come back together a little bit before I went again. And I wanted to do it right after Friendsgiving. I didn't want to do it during Friendsgiving because there would be people around. It would be too much. I wanted to do it right after. So all of the ideas around people and interactions and friendship and family and stuff were sort of in my head. And so I did. That was what I did yesterday. All of yesterday was LSD. And starting early in the morning so that I could get a good night's sleep because this stuff will keep you up. Started early in the morning, spent and tripped with my roommate, with my friend. Had a beautiful day in terms of the sunlight and stuff. Used the shit out of that mace there. Fully rearranged some significant portions of my hip anatomy and my shoulder anatomy, which was the primary reason that thing that I wanted to accomplish regardless. Really, really rearranged some of my physical anatomy in some stellar ways. I keep discovering and realizing that there's so much more. There's so much more stuff going on, particularly inside the hips, down into the pelvic floor, and the musculature around the pubic bone where everything sort of connects and links up and is crossed over. There's so much there that in a sedentary lifestyle where we don't actively engage in a lot of the physical embodiment practices that have been learned, mastered, and proven over time, because there are some learned, mastered, and proven physical embodiment practices and ways of exercising, ways of being. And we don't think about the root of ourselves at all. And the root of ourselves is right down at the base of your nuts, or I guess in your goochal area, right between your butts holes and your balls place, or other parts place. I don't really care. Our anatomy isn't very discriminatory as far as musculature goes. It all kind of is the same, whether you're male or female, or just kind of the same. Your muscles go in places. But man, figuring out some of the bits and pieces that are right at the core of what's holding you together. It really is. It's right where you're held together. There, at the belly button, here at the sternum, in the back, right between the shoulder blades. Really held together. And pushing through that, wow, fucking fascinating. And then I discovered that my left medial delt didn't work, and I got it working. And my whole left lat was fried. And so I fixed it, mostly. Now I've got to go to the gym today and fix it more. But I'll share a couple things that I figured out that were really helpful. The first is that thing, the weighted mace. This bad boy is the best money I've ever spent. With ease. Without compunction, I can say. This thing is the best money I've ever spent. Because it wasn't a lot of money. It was $23. I mean, 32 bucks. Fuck, 23. I looked up and I saw 23 concurrent viewers. It was 32 bucks. It's just a weight. It's just a weight at the end of a stick. But it's a pretty hefty weight. It's off balance. The stick fits. I use the whole stick to roll out my tissue. But we, for millions of years, we being all of our ancestors, all the way deep into monkey, we have optimized for grabbing sticks. Nice resonance on that thunk on the mic. Good. We have optimized for sticks. Holding them, grabbing them, throwing them, swinging them, bashing them into each other. Running around with them, throwing them. And the shoulder joint in particular isn't a terribly complete joint. It's kind of just hanging there, sort of just floating. It's kind of a weird joint, honestly. And I realized that the shoulder joint isn't built to be the way that it is. The shoulder joint is built to allow the whole hand anatomy to interface with sticks. Reach up and grab a stick so that you can climb through the trees. Reach out and grab a stick so you can use the stick to poke something. Hold a stick, hold it deep, and hold it so that you can throw it with maximum velocity. We're really attuned to sticks. And hammers. And tools. And clubs. And this is a big club. So I really, 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 really recommend that you join the club and buy one. Willie asked, what's it called? It's just called a weighted mace. That's all. I believe that I went to Amazon and I searched weighted mace. Yep, they come up. Weighted mace, dozens of them pop up. Synergy steel mace, available from 5 to 40 pounds. Retrospect steel clubs. Tribe wad. Magic sledgehammer that... Wait, how does that work? Oh, it's got replaceable weight sections. That's why it's $200 fucking dollars. All of this is unnecessary. All you really need is the cheapest one. The one that I bought, which was the Yes for All Steel Mace Bell. They're also called mace bells, like kettlebell but mace bell, or dumbbell but mace bell. I bought the Yes for All one. There's probably different brands, probably better brands. I don't love the handle on this one. It's not the best thing that I've ever seen, but shop around, see what you want, and get yourself a mace bell. Yep, get yourself a mace bell, and I would recommend getting the 10-pound one to start. If you're small or weak feeling, then go lower, 5, 7. Don't go heavier than 10. You'll be shocked by how hard it is. It's because the thing about a ball on a weight on a stick is that if you hold it at the weight, it's 10 pounds. If you hold it at the end of the stick, it's 3 bajillion kilograms, right? Like it's not the same weight at all, depending on where it is on the stick. So 10 pounds is more than enough to really fuck your shoulders and your whole day right up in the best way. Have you ever tried a bull worker? My father swears by those things. Used to have bodybuilders come up to him wanting to know how he got so buff, and never believed him when he said just a bull worker. Okay, so before I even look this up, I'm gonna say your father is probably a hyper responder, in that probably it wouldn't matter what exercise your dad did. He would probably blow up into a muscle man regardless. There are people like this all over the place. You see him at the gym. You see him in prisons. People are like, yeah, I do like 20 pull-ups and 10 push-ups a day. And they're just like, you know, it's like, well, fuck you, man. Absolutely fuck you. And what's going on there is it's just their biology. They're built for it. They've got higher levels of endogenous testosterone probably, and are more efficient at some degree at protein synthesis, and it's probably somewhat genetic. What the fuck is a bull worker? Let me find out. Bull worker. Achieve total body fitness with bull worker portable home gym. What the fuck is that? It's a bow thing. I see. So this is it's a piston with a resistance band. That's weird. That is a weird product. Okay, hold on. Let me just show you what the fuck this is. This thing. This is the thing. So, yeah, obviously, as I said before, I've never seen anything like this. And it looks stupid to me. Alright, go away. What the fuck? It's tubes. It's tubes with a goob. A steel, okay. Bow Classic. Aha. So it's a hydraulic air piston. I'll look at the Bow Classic, because that's the move. Learn more. $250. Multiple springs to make it more difficult or less difficult. Pushing down on it, using it as a bow, pulling it that way, pulling it this way, pulling it that way, pulling it this way, pulling it that way. Okay, fair enough. That seems like an interesting piece of tech. I don't mind it at all. It doesn't seem like the thing that I would use at all. Look up the exercise chart for it. It used to be about $30 to buy one. Nowadays, they are so expensive. This can't cost more than $60 to make, lol. It can't cost more than $30 to make, bisses. Not a chance. It's just full resistance training, but you can do over... Yeah, I get it. I believe it, and I don't believe that it's wrong. I would rather work with free weights. Always. I would not get one of these. I would not buy a bull worker, personally. I have no reason to, because I have access to a full gym, and that's all I need, because I have access to weights. And what I'd like to do, goal-wise and utility-wise, is I'd like to be capable of moving heavy objects. And so the best way to train to be capable of moving heavy objects is to move heavy objects. If you could have only one machine or object at home to exercise, what would it be? Barbell and plates. But the actual answer is a pull-up bar. If you could have only one machine or object at home to exercise, what would it be? A pull-up bar. And this actually follows into answering Shu's question. I've been looking into calisthenics stuff. What is your opinion on that? Does one really need a personal gym if they can at home? You don't need a gym. Nobody needs a fucking gym. Gym's just great for particular types of working. If you want to work, all you gotta do is start working. What do you need to do to make your body whole? You need to do You need to do squats, air squats of all sorts. You need to do them deep. Squats, lunges, push-ups, pull-ups, and some variety. Pike push-ups to do shoulder push-ups. Various core work. Flexibility work. Gymnastics stuff. Handstands, headstands. Back bridges. Nordics. Quad fallouts. Stuff like that. As long as you're working, you're good to go. There are dozens of solid calisthenics channels all over the place. All you got to do is try to start. All you have to do is get started. If you want to do calisthenics stuff, all you need is a floor. Man, I don't know most of what you said means, lol. Well, squats, push-ups, pull-ups, and run. Jump rope. Squats, push-ups, pull-ups, jump rope. There you go. There's your list. You wanna start changing your body a bit? Squats, push-ups, pull-ups, jump rope. Do them all at the same time. Do what's called a burpee. Do those for a while. Calisthenics are fun. Something about mastering the weight of your body is rewarding. I fully agree. I used to be able to do quite a bit of balance on my hands because of b-boy, because of breakdancing, and I've lost most of it. So I'm moving toward regaining that strength and stability in order to do so. And I'd like to be able to do a full planche in a little while. Let me show you what I mean by that. A full planche is like that. You see it? It's like that, literally holding yourself on the ground via balance. I can do a tucked planche where my elbows are stuck, but here's a progression for the. Come on. Here's a progression for the planche. It looks like this. You start by figuring out how to tuck off, how to put your legs up, go out with your legs out, and into a full planche. And that's about right. So that's the progression that I'm on. Planches look impossible. That's the thing. They look fucking crazy. That's why I want to be able to do them. Because I look at it and I'm like, well, that looks fucking hard. That looks fucking hard. How cool would it be to be able to do something that's super hard? My body can't handle more than a single push-up. This looks impossible. Solar Wind, I'm hitting you with a video right now. You can do push-ups. You can do push-ups, my friend. 2022 version from Hybrid Calisthenics. Bam. Also, anybody else who's interested in at Solar Wind there. Anyone else who's interested in calisthenics should click that video. Or more accurately, let me just click on the boy.
Hello, my friends.
Shut up. Shut up, Hybrid Calisthenics. I love you. Everybody should look at this guy, because he does good stuff. Does swimming replace all those exercises? No exercise really replaces any other exercise, and no. Swimming is great exercise for swimming. Push-ups are great exercise for push-ups. Pull-ups are great exercise for pull-ups. It's only when you have a sort of coherent exercise system that you're getting enough work all over. Swimming's real good and you should do it. Like, I'm not knocking it at all. But I'll say this. If you want to get better at swimming, doing push-ups will probably get you going to do swimming better, because it'll strengthen your chest and triceps, which you're going to be using to drive the arms through the water. I also saw this video where the guy was saying to do wall push-ups first if you can't do them. That's what I just sent you. It's Hybrid Calisthenics push-up progression. And that's been classic for forever. I mean, I can't even remember what book it was that I was on a long time ago, but it had all of the progressions for all of the calisthenic movements as well. I think it might have been like Prison Fit or something like that. I don't know. Regardless, it was the same idea, just bonkos calisthenicos. Very good times. Overall, one piece of gym equipment, yourself. Or let's say a different one. One piece of gym equipment, a water bottle. That's actually the answer. That's the answer that I would give you, is a water bottle. A good double-walled stainless steel water bottle. And you should have water in it. Don't ever put anything but water in it. It'll get dirty. You can, but you shouldn't. Water in it at all times. When it gets empty or near empty, fill it. When it's with you, and you remember that it's with you, drink from it. Welcome to hydration. You got anyone at your gym who's clearly using steroids but professes never to touch the stuff? Yeah, but most people don't walk around asking each other if they're on juice. So there's some guys who are definitely juiced out. It's no issue. What is the point of weights then? In comparison to what? To what, like calisthenics and stuff? Well, the point is that your body's only so heavy. You have a limit. The point is that you can progressively overload weights perfectly. You can add an exact amount of weight to the bar. The point is that barbells are very ergonomic. It's really, really good and easy to integrate a barbell into your body's movement. It's built for it, for you to grip onto and to pull or push. You can load it up with far more force than any other method that I know of, and you can use that to measure your progress precisely. You can always get a weighted vest when you get strong from calisthenics. I don't like weighted vests. I don't like them at all. Also, I have a dip belt, so I don't need a weighted vest. If you don't know what a dip belt is, it's a belt with a chain, and you can put weights on the chain so that they hang between your balls or below your balls, and you can put whatever weights on there. So if you want to do dips or pull-ups, for example, you can just attach some weight. You can actually go to my Instagram. You can see me doing pull-ups with like 25 pounds on me, which isn't a lot, but you know, when you weigh 130 pounds, 25 pounds is a lot. When you're adding it to your pull-up, it's a lot. But in general, that's the answer. Why do you strength train with weights? Is because you can progressively overload them exactly, which means that you progress perfectly. Oh yeah, I meant in regards to if I don't really need equipment to have a good body. Yeah, you don't really need equipment to have a good body. You don't. So what's the point of weights? It's just different. I go on hikes a lot, so I got a water pack that I use for them. Very well. I recommend, I know what you're talking about, either a Camelback or a knockoff company. I would avoid drinking from the plastic bag whenever possible. It's not like the worst thing in the entire universe. Water is water, but I would avoid drinking from the plastic bag when possible, especially if it gets warm. Stainless steel, man. Stainless steel or glass. And BPA free doesn't mean shit because BPS exists. Too many bisphenols to count. I'm fully planning on going to the gym after finishing my college this year finally. Very excited to be fit and healthy. Feels like going to the gym with friends will make me more motivated to keep it up. It will. It's one of the biggest tips that I have for anybody trying to produce a fitness practice is to go with people. You'll make each other accountable. Because if they're going to be disappointed in you for not coming, they're going to be disappointed. For me, it's quite helpful because the gym isn't far away, but we'll carpool, we'll hop in one vehicle, and go. And we're there for an hour, maybe two, and then we come back. And I built in I built in a reward system around that, which is the smoothies, the shakes, because you come back from the gym and you're hungry. And I make a smoothie, and I give the smoothie to my boys. And they're like, ooh, smoothie. And it's like, ha, ha, ha. And they don't even know that I'm addicting them to the gym. I'm building associations in their brain between sweet, sugary, not that sugary, but sweet, berry-filled nutrition sludge and gym time. Wahahaha. They'll never stop going now. You got a motivational soundtrack you play on the car journey? No. We play music. Just random whatever we're playing at the time. Oh, gym also sounds like a nice place to make friends in the first place, at least for me. Nope, sorry. Okay. So that's a problem you're going to run into. Gyms are a great place to make friends, but you're the one who has to do it. Because at the gym, everybody's going to have their armor on. I mean, their sociocultural armor. They're going to have it on, and it's going to be up. Especially the girls are going to have their armor on. Yes, but only if you are a hot girl T wants to talk to. Yeah, so that's the thing, is you should be a hot girl who guys want to talk to. And then good luck, because guys are going to talk to you, and they're mostly bad people. No, I'm kidding. They're mostly good people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Or you can be the person who talks to other people at the gym, and this is what I would recommend, is integrate yourself into the culture as best you can. And prepare yourself mentally and with knowledge as best as you can, so that when you show up, you're not a complete idiot. And you don't feel like a complete idiot. Because everybody's a complete idiot when they walk in. But you feeling like one isn't going to be conducive to your long-term success. So have a little bit of stuff locked away. I recommend going to the basics down below and finding the place where it says stuff about working out. And just going ahead and downloading that whole book that I found you. And just download the book and read the book. It's like 280 pages and most of it's pictures. So read the fucking book. Read starting strength and then go get strong. In that order. It's good times. Very good times. Let's take a peek at the poll for the day. What is one thing in your life that needs to change? Okay, we got a couple of answers. Fuck, shit, okay. Well, there are more than a couple of answers. I thought that I would be able to skim through this and just go quickly. Maybe I shouldn't have asked a fucking serious question that digs deep at the core problems that people have. And then maybe I wouldn't have to actually try to answer the questions. Okay, before we get into this, let me just say that I don't have the answers to a lot of these questions. And that doesn't mean that the answer doesn't exist. In many ways, for many of these things, I think the answer is that you haven't found the answer yet, and that seeking is the answer. It's a Douglas Adams idea from Hitchhiker's Guide, is that the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything is irrelevant. The question, seeking the seeking, finding the question, that's where it is. Kulera says the urge to give up. And I wonder if Kularis means the urge to give up or the urge to change. Because I'll say this. When you're doing something that you have to do that isn't what you should be doing, the urge to give up might be the best thing ever. But you have to be very careful and make sure that what you're doing is something you don't want to be doing. Does that make sense? If you're already doing the thing you should be doing, and again, be careful about making sure that that's the case, because you might have convinced yourself that it's the thing that should be doing, and your urge to give up might be your whole organism, your body, your mind, stacked on top of itself, your spirit and your soul itself, saying, what you're doing is not the right thing, you should stop. That's how it was for me with programming when I was still coding. I had an urge to give up, and I trampled all over that urge and repressed it really heavily because I thought that it was the thing that I needed to be doing, was the programming. The working. And it wasn't. So my urge to give up in that circumstance was the right thing. But if you've found the right thing, and it won't be very evident to you whether that's the case, I don't think. But if you're sure that you've found the right thing and you still want to give up on it, there's a more fundamental problem. I think the fundamental problem has to do, I don't know enough to know, but in part it has to do with habituation. Because you don't just give up your habits, they just happen on their own. And so if you just habituated yourself to the action of moving forward, then your urge wouldn't matter. Because that's sort of the magical missing piece in a lot of ways, is that in our lives, in reality, neurochemically, neurobiologically, physically, mentally, spiritually, all those things. It's running it backwards to make yourself feel the way that you feel. I guess I'm just gonna steal it. I don't give a shit. Oh, wow. Last time I went to the gym, there was a super attractive couple who went to the sauna. They actively locked themselves out of the locker room in their bikini/trunks. Hot? Sounds like the start of a porno. Lovely watching the shame on their faces. I wonder if the thing at our core that we want in our life the most is like the white whale in Moby Dick. You just can't give up, even if it destroys you. But then, should you give up? So it's a complicated one because Melville's dick, like Ahab is obsessed and Broken obsessed. Like Ahab's quest is every man's quest, but he's arrogant and greedy in a way. He greeds for fame and fortune. It's funny. Whenever I think of Moby Dick, I think of a different character than Captain Ahab. I think of Gunner from the Lightbringer saga by Brent Weeks. Captain Gunner, who's also got some of the best pirate voicing I've ever heard. I love him to pieces. But he's the same way, where he's an extraordinary man who is just seeking more adventure. The white whale, something bigger, something crazier, something more impossible. And I do think that idea that what we're seeking in life is something beyond our seeking. I think that's true, actually. I think that you should be seeking something that you can't accomplish, ever. That would be the ultimate kind of goal to lead toward, would be the truly impossible one. For example, like, a peaceful existence for humans. Something like that. Not exactly that, but something like it. Well, you're never going to see that. Look at the world around you. It's all shit and fucked, and you're too small to change it. But if you could change it a tiny bit, maybe that would lead to a future where your children's children's children could get closer to a peaceful existence for humans. And for generations and generations, that has been true. People 100 years ago could not even imagine the peace and prosperity that we live in now. And that sounds so crazy to say, because our news and our media sources are so bombarded with the negative that it's like, oh, everything's awful. Is it? Is it really? Is it really awful? Is it really that awful? There are a solid number of billion people in the world, and a small and significantly decreasing fraction of them are starving. It's closer to peace on Earth when people aren't all over the globe killing each other for food. That's pretty good. Large portion of the world is interconnected digitally and directly. Can just speak to each other. You know, you're halfway across the world from somebody else, and you don't have to take a 6-month journey to go and see them or send them a letter. You can just fire off a text message to somebody in Germany and just be like, sup? How the fuck's it going? That's pretty good. So we strive onward for a better future that we're never going to get to see. I think that's part of the answer, is being content, sacrificing yourself and knowing that you're not going to see the fruits of your labors. But that's not the whole answer. Because the way that this initial question sits, the urge to give up, well, what if you're already on that path? What if you're already working toward the peace of all mankind and yourself, and a good future for yourself and the children, and seeking out art and understanding and being humble enough to admit when you're wrong and all these things? What if that part is the part that you have an urge to give up on? What if it's on this life thing? And that fits, because down below this is Capitalist Cow, which says wanting to commit suicide. What happens when you're ready to give up on this? Well, something in your behavior isn't working, okay? Because suicide isn't a mental problem, it's a behaviorological problem. That is to say, mental problems are most frequently behaviorological problems. And I'm gonna steal a chunk of a video, and if I get copyright struck for this theft, then fine. then so be it. I don't mind too much. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go and pull it up and make sure that I have the exact right timestamp. Shut up. This just helps me a lot, okay? I'm sharing a piece of somebody else's podcast. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share a chunk of somebody else's podcast. Look, I don't know. Maybe these people are canceled. Maybe you guys will hate them. I don't give a fuck. What matters is that there's something important in this episode of this podcast that really helped me comprehend how to change myself and how to fix things. And so I'm going to pop it open. I'm going to show it to you, and you can take it as you please and dismiss it as you please as well. That's the wrong window capture. Is this the right window capture? That's the right window capture. Great. Not the mini player. Fuck.
It's a quick lesson on how to shift your perspective and sharpen your mindset through behavior.
It's incredible because if you think about sensation, perception, feeling, thought, and behavior, actually the way to control our nervous system and feel the way we want to feel is to run that backwards.
Backward.
Behavior, thoughts. So if you change your behavior, then generally your thoughts, your feelings, and your perceptions change.
Yeah.
And everyone tries to come at it from the other end.
But he's figured
out through whatever process.
Goggins, right.
Incredible life circumstances, how to run it in this direction of behavior first.
Yeah.
And I really think
Act.
that if neuroscience has anything to offer, it's some understanding of what the underlying chemicals and neural circuits are. But the sooner that the human species can start to understand that our feelings and our thoughts and our memories and all that is very complicated, but that when behaviors are very concrete and they are the control panel for the rest of it. I don't want to relegate feelings. Feelings are extremely important. I don't want to relegate perception. They're extremely important. But when it comes to wanting to shift the way that you function, to get better or
behavior.
To perform better, or
you
to
do it
show
through
up
movement.
better, or to move away from things like addictive behaviors, it's absolutely foolish for any of us, me included, to think that we can do that by changing our thoughts first. It's behavior first, thoughts, feelings, and perceptions follow.
Mood follows action.
Mood follows
This
action.
has like been my mantra forever, and I swear by it. And David's example illustrates that act first. He's developed so much neural plasticity that it's reflexive for him to just move towards the hard thing or the challenge.
And it's becoming
or
reflexive
the
for me.
discomfort, right? And now the
Completely.
science establishes that this is indeed the case. And yet our programming, our default hardwiring is to put us in this place where we want to ruminate on all this stuff
Thinking,
and wait until we
thinking,
feel like
thinking.
doing something before we do it, or check our motivations for it. But anytime I'm in a funk or I want to change my state,
Move.
I have to move forward. I have to do something with my physical body in order to shake things up and rearrange
Gotta
whatever's
move.
going on mentally.
Clean your space, clean your desk.
And it works every
Do
time.
a push-up.
It works every time because the brain circuits, meaning sets of connections and chemicals, they're there from birth, they're there your whole life, and they were designed for that. So in 2018,
This is
graduate
the
student in my
crucial
lab
study.
published a paper in Nature
When you
showing
move
that
toward it,
in the face of a physical threat,
threat comes.
there are three options.
Obstacle,
You can
dragon.
Obviously freeze, you can retreat, or you can move forward. And the moving forward response actually triggers activation of a connection in the brain to the dopamine circuitry of the brain and makes it more likely that you're going to be able to move forward in the future. Now, what was interesting to us was that not only is forward action rewarded at a neurochemical level,
Yep.
which then sets you
And
up
a
for more
fucking
forward
physical
action,
level.
but the highest level of agitation,
This is the crucial part.
stress, was associated with moving forward. We always think, well, if I just calm myself enough, I'll be able to move forward.
Right.
But it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And so people who are paralyzed in fear,
gotta
or
get
that
shocked
have a
out
hard
of
time
it.
initiating, sometimes the key is to raise the level of stress and
Get
agitation.
stressed.
This is why deadlines are so effective.
Deadlines.
This is why
Push,
fear
push,
is so
push, push.
effective. This is why that deer gets up out of its nice little den and starts to move, because it feels a certain level of agitation. If that agitation isn't high enough, we will not move forward. And so, especially in the US, we have a culture in
happy
which stress
times.
has been created. These ideas around stress is that it's
Well, it
terrible
is
for us,
killing
when in
you.
fact stress is designed to move us forward towards these action steps that are rewarded, which then move us forward, and so on.
So what is the process of combating that, monkey mind?
Oh yeah, I
that
do
is,
fell out once I'm calm, I
running
lose my.
whatever
Yeah, you
narrative
need a little bit of the
that's keeping you
adrenaline.
stuck? Like, it's easy to say, like,
You need
just
a little
move, you
bit.
got to take the action.
Sure.
But a lot of people still, despite understanding that, intellectualizing that, are unable to, basically act as if.
Some people are just hypo-aroused. They're just
Some people just don't have the ability to. I'm gonna cut it off there because I think I can take it from here. So as he's saying, some people are just not. They don't have enough neurochemicals to go. No, not enough go juice. But the overall idea that's present in that little clip is that behavior is the start. What you do actually changes how you feel. If you wait until you feel like doing the thing, you might never. If you do the thing, doing it will make you feel like doing it. It's the way the wiring works. Your brain is built to organize yourself toward a goal. Your body is built to organize yourself toward a goal. Really, truly, at depth, like, especially playing around with the sticks or the weights and stuff. You are so optimized to take an object and align your entire physicality in order to to move it in the straightest line as fast as possible. And what you're doing there is you're aligning yourself and physicality in order to hit a target, to reach a goal, to fire an arrow, we're built for it. We're built for it. You have to get moving. And what you find out is with just a little bit of training, your whole body knows exactly what to do as soon as you start moving forward. But if you sit there and you think about how to throw a baseball, you really think about how to throw a baseball, really get it in your head, you'll be no closer to actually being a good pitcher or a good thrower. You have to go and you have to throw. So why would you think that the same wouldn't be true for your life? Why would you think that you'd be good at living? Why would you expect that? You have to aim for something and go. So what if you're already aimed at something and you're going and you're just burning out? And you just want to stop. Well, I don't know, because I haven't reached that goal, that level. I do think it's worth evaluating whether what you're doing is what you should be doing, because your desire to stop might be the indication that what you're doing is not correct. Because in my life, when I've gotten myself aligned towards something that I actually believed in, and if you don't have anything you believe in, that's a different problem, and the answer to that one is in stories, I think. But in my life, I forgot what I was about to say, the exact phrasing I was going to use. Sorry. But when I align myself toward a goal and I move, things click into click. Things click into place. Okay. I don't have... Your desire to stop might just be that you've eaten too much turkey at Thanksgiving and are in fact full. That's quite possible. But I do see, I can't help but see the desire to stop and the desire to suicide as being part of the same thing. And I'll add a layer of what I think is going on there to some extent. It's in the video, one of the first brews, Brew 3, on the previous channel, on the first channel, which is called Being is Good. Because I believe that being is good. If you're ideating suicide, then you don't believe that being is good. If you're ideating suicide or thinking about giving up, then you are my brother, you are my sister, you are my friend, you are my family. and I love you. But the serpent dwells within you, and its name is contempt for being. Not hatred, not sadness, not fear, contempt. Ugh. Ugh. This being thing. What's it even for? What's the point of it? Who cares? I believe that being is good, but I can't feel it. Then you don't believe it. Belief isn't a thing you state or think. Belief is a thing you do. If you don't embody your beliefs, you don't believe them. That's why I had to cut early access, because I wasn't embodying my beliefs. That's why I have to go to the gym. Because if I just believed that exercise is good, I wouldn't believe in it. I would just think it. Belief is doing. Belief is moving. Faith is action. Love is pain. Here's my take. It's really easy for that serpent to slither in. Contempt for being is all around us, and it's quite popular. It's quite popular, and many people are selling it. Come join us and have contempt for being. It'll free you. But being is good, and you're a part of being. So if you have contempt for being, that's going to line into contempt for yourself, and vice versa. But we live in a chaotic world where nothing makes sense. Everything seems like lies and distrust and evil and capitalism, and, well, there doesn't seem to be any point, you know? If you look towards succeeding, you can't succeed unless you do so by trampling on the heads of other people. That doesn't seem worth it. Doesn't seem fun at all. All of the systems of power are corrupt and destroyed. All of the people who are doing the destroying are also corrupt and destroyed because they're not actually embodying any ideal effectively except that of destruction and contempt. So where do you go? Where do you find some peace? Where do you find a being that's worth being? If there's good in it, then where is it? It's in you. It's in you. Everybody that I meet, with very few exceptions, and those exceptions shine bright, everybody that I meet is sitting around waiting for being to come and prove itself to be good to them. And that's not how it works. They're sitting around going, well, I don't know what good would be. I don't know whether being could be good. But I guess I'm too scared to die. So I guess I'll stick around on this planet for a little bit longer. And I'll find out if one day, maybe, just maybe, something will drop into my lap. And it almost never does. When you hold a drill out and you just go sideways with the drill, gravity pulls you down and you begin to spiral downward. You have to aim up as best you can. You have to say, man, this shit sucks. There's gotta be something better than this. I've heard of it. I know there are some people who either they're liars or they're living okay. Because that's true, right? Like, you go on Instagram or elsewhere and you see people who are living and they seem to be living pretty good lives. And it's like, what the fuck do they have figured out that I don't have figured out? Well, guess what? You just found a goal. Your goal is to figure out what the fuck those other people have figured out, or to figure out whether they're lying. And that means that you, trapped down under the dirt of Jiha Village, you need to grab hold of your drill and decide to pierce the heavens. For yourself. For everyone. For your bro. For your village. For your family. For everyone. You have to drive upward. I'm going to jump back and say, Shu says, this sums up every college project I've ever done, Lamau. I have a bad habit of hanging things until a deadline and then doing it at the last moment. I need to overcome that. This habit is only getting bad. That's procrastination. And Huberman, I believe, has a full fucking video on it that I haven't seen yet, but I can just drop it for you because it's a bigger problem for you than it is for me. Well, there are a couple. But the focus one is a good one. And then I'm going to move into talking about something like, there we go. Got a friend who has just got married and had a kid and had a ridiculously good job, but I always have to open our convo each night with, "Are you okay?" Can just tell he is unhappy about something. That's interesting. That's interesting. I meet people like that too. You could just be wrong. He might just have resting bitch face, you know? Like, how would you know? But there's probably something deep-seated going on, and I can't know. It might be family. It might be feeling lost in the world. I don't know. Took a lot of asking. He's been having problems with workmates. There you go. I'm going to mention something else. This is by an idea that comes from, what's her name? The 5-second rule. Mel Robbins, who is a gangbusters self-help guru at the moment and a public speaker lady, as well as a talk show host and all sorts of things. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. She's got an idea that's a very useful one that I've stolen, and I'm about to steal it and give it to you, and then you can steal it and use it in your life. And by steal, I mean she's actively said repeatedly, fucking steal this shit, go tell all your friends it really works. So here's what it is. Take the thing that you need to do. Count backward from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then just go. The moment you've committed to counting backward, you've interrupted your thoughts, and you've committed to acting at the 0. Like a rocket taking off. Like a space shuttle to the moon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You see a pretty girl and you want to go talk to her. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You see a cold shower and you don't want to get into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You're in bed and you don't want to get out of bed because it's warm and cozy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Go. Go, 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 go. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. But also his wife shares no interest in the stuff he likes. Oh. Well, there's our issue, Kikuri Renon. Ya boy didn't marry properly. And doesn't know how to deal with it. And doesn't know how to communicate that to his wife. So he fucked up. He married a woman that they're not actually interested in each other. Which is to say, they don't know what love is, which is unfortunate. It happens a lot. There's a reason that the divorce rate is so high. It's not a simple problem. Not a simple problem by any stretch. But if they can't reconcile that and figure out a way to be interested in each other, if they can't reconcile that and figure out a way to become interested in each other, to really care, relationship's got a year max, and they're going to tear each other apart while it falls apart. So, a year before marriage, and I told him it was way too soon. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? People are going to do their thing. People are going to do their thing. And then, they'll probably try to have a child to save the relationship, which won't work. So, they'll ruin somebody else's lives in order to try to, or somebody else's life, their child's, in order to try to save their own. All because they made the mistake. Mostly probably because they were too desperate to be with somebody, right? Afraid of being alone. That's rough. That's rough. I don't like it. Faithlessness asks if I would watch funny videos that people would react to. I don't think that would be fun at all. That sounds like shit. I understand the appeal, but I hate those videos, man. I really don't like them. Like we're sitting here having a conversation about suicide, and you want me to watch funny videos? Come on. Can you forge love out of contempt? No. That's what I've been telling myself for some time now, and this question just came to me because of the discussion now. No. Once contempt has entered a relationship, it's unsalvageable in most circumstances. Contempt specifically. Hatred, no problem. Disgust is on the same realm as contempt. General just dislike and distrust and stuff, you can reforge that shit. When you've got contempt in the system, ooh. Parnik, I am extremely afraid of death and forgetting myself. Because of that, I am afraid and unable to go to sleep because I can't help but see it as a death of my thoughts. Can't fix my even sleep patterns. Okay, couple things. Your fear of death is warranted. Death is very scary. Your fear of death is also unwarranted. Death is natural, and you will die, Parnik. You will become dust, and you need to face it. It's dark, and it's scary, and nobody knows what's on the other side of that semi-permeable membrane. But you're gonna find out one day. And until you do, you won't even be alive. I'm sorry that it's preventing you from going to sleep. Fear of death is deep-rooted. I'm going to seek out secondary information for you. Generally, therapy. So, therapy first off, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. Do you have people around you, Parnik? I hope you have people around you. I think the answer that millions and millions and billions and billions of humans. Hi, Samyak. I've been good. The answer that millions and millions and billions of people have found is that die but live on in the next generation. Find a way to channel your energy into the youth in some degree. Whether they're your children or someone else's, it doesn't matter that much. Or hell, adopt children. Your death is not your death. Because you live on. Why wouldn't you? You're not separate from all the other people around you. We're all one thing. So as long as the human organism moves on, all is well. I have only my parents to talk to, and they are divorced, so communication is stressful. I understand. I understand that all too well. I have split parents as well. You need friends. You need therapy. And I think you should, I think you need to count back from 5 and then go set up a therapy appointment. Because your inability to sleep will actually dissolve you. Sleep is really, really necessary. Necessary. Beyond necessary. You really, really need to figure out your sleep. and figure out your dreams. Because death is not this scary thing. Death is existence itself. And this is going to sound weird, and I hope you like metal. I hope you like metal music, and I'm going to send you an album. There's an album that you might not want to listen to, but I'm going to order you to do it. Listen to this album, and we'll see how you feel. Pow pow. Yep. Parnick. Pow. Pow. Detritus Zero, you are correct about sleep not being the death of thoughts, but it's a separate place. It's a separate place. Yes, having mythologies or religious stories in your head, even if they're just stories, can be very important. Hi, just tuned in. Sorry if it was already asked, but has there been any TA for the Cyberpunk reaction? It has not been asked. I have not edited it yet. I have recorded it. So no, there's no ETA. Soon, as soon as I can get it to you. I'm gonna record something else today, so I doubt that I'll get it out today. But it will be soon. It will be before Friday. I'm going to go back to the list. Being shy to the point that it has negative impacts. The urge to give up. Wanting to commit suicide. Fuck, man. Honestly, I'm not capable of grappling with those as effectively as I should right now, just because of where my mental state is. I hope that what I've said has been helpful at all. I feel like, I get that feeling as I'm speaking that's like, well, the person who's watching this, who's waiting on bated breath on the edge of their seat, like, oh, maybe Tiabu will have the answer to my life's deepest problems. Please, 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 please. And what I say ends up being sort of a blathering mess that's like, well, maybe you're doing the wrong thing and you just need to change the thing that you're doing. Yeah. And you just go, ah, shit, another failure. Great. So I'm sorry if that's how this feels. Because I've been where you're at, and I've charted the path that I got from there to here. But actually following it back from the depths of despair is really hard. I will say that for me, an SSRI was very helpful. An antidepressant was very helpful. And even if you say, I don't have depression, certain SSRIs are very helpful for anxiety. And anxiety is a major contributor to those sorts of feelings, those sorts of urges. So that helps. Being connected to people helps. But the biggest thing that has helped has been aligning myself and ensuring that the thing that I'm doing, the thing that I'm focused on, is the thing that I should be focused on. I don't mean on the small scale, I mean on the broad scale. Which is to say, the work that I do. This work, this anime stuff, and this now communication with you guys more directly, this is the thing that I think that I should be doing. And so it's what I'm doing. And since I changed that, I haven't had the urge to give up. To stall and to be lazy, sure. To give up, to walk away, not at all. Not at all. So maybe if you changed your behavior, your mood might change as well. Blood splash, being shy to the point that it has negative impacts. Okay, that's social anxiety. You need therapy. Classic. Great, helpful. You also need to inure yourself to the pain. Because guess what, motherfucker? You got two choices. You got the pain of being alone, or you got the pain of walking up to somebody you don't know and saying hi. One of them's forever. One of them will kill you. The other one is just going to be scary and exciting. Go walk up to somebody. Next time you see somebody and you're interested in them in any way, Count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk up to them and go, "Hi." A good one is to just claim that you're doing a thing, right? I've done this multiple times, and it's a tiny lie, and I don't like lying very much, but it's a useful lie. The lie is this: I'm doing a thing. Hi, I'm doing a thing where I'm supposed to give out one compliment every day, and you're the one for the day. I really like your shoes. Okay, bye, thanks. Although when I did it, it was to a lovely woman, and I walked up to her and I said, "Hi, I'm doing this thing where I give out one genuine compliment a day, and I just wanted to say you are radiant. And since the moment that you walked into this gym, it's been a light." And then I smiled and I walked away. Break yourself. Being shy to the point that it has negative impacts? The fuck is being shy doing for you? Break it. Break it. It's a big chunk of you. It's a big chunk of you. It's a whole section of who you are is fear and shyness. Kill it. Stab it. Cut it right up. Chop it up into little pieces, make sashimi out of it, consume it, eat it, and grow strong. Cut the cancer out of yourself and eat it. And grow. Back to the chat. How's the chat going? You should really advertise the channel more on your main one because it's actually quite hard to find. Yep. But you've already said that people have to come to that conclusion themselves. You're only a messenger. You can't guarantee that people listen to that messages. Yeah, 100%. Olive oil. I've been riding a high in the past few months, but the mere possibility of falling back into the hell I experienced for many years gives me shivers. Lately, you've inspired me to create systems of, I assume that that's going to be more stuff. Here's what I'd say. They did some studies on people, and when people visualize their goal, like really visualize where they'll be if they're a billionaire who fucks lots of models, you know, whatever it is that their goal is. When they visualize, you know, they're a billionaire rapper or whatever, they visualize their goal, and the people who visualize their goal versus the people who just state their goal, the visualizers do way better in terms of long-term actually getting closer to their goal. Good. You know who's better than the people who visualize where they will be and all the things that they'll have? The people who visualize, who are told to visualize the opposite. If their goal is in 10 years to be a billionaire rapper, where will they be in 10 years if they never start? Really visualize that. Really think it through. Think through just how bad things could get if they really started fucking up. Just where would you be if you don't ever pursue this? That hell that you might experience, or maybe have experienced, as you say. The people who visualize that hell, they got even closer to achieving their goals more consistently. And we can surmise that doing both would have a contributory effect as well. So what do? Well, I'd say it's pretty good that you're afraid of slipping backward, because backward is a bad place, and as soon as you go, there's no coming back. And that's not true. Little failures, bumps in the road, you come back. But the deep, dark, downward slide back into the abyss from whence you came, that's the sort of thing that'll break a person. To fall all the way back down when you've promised yourself you won't, that's the sort of thing that'll cause a problem. So, I think it's a good thing, if you just rephrase it and reframe it, I think it's a very good thing, actually, that you're afraid of falling back to where you were. Because that fear will keep pushing you forward, and that goal, that treat ahead of you will keep driving you as well. And so you've effectively carrot and sticked yourself. Run from the stick, seek the carrot. Good. Getting a job where you are forced to communicate with coworkers can help with overcoming shyness and social anxiety. I agree. Best job I ever had for socializing was working behind a bar and waiting a restaurant. Terrible during rush hour, but great on the slow times when you can talk to customers and other staff. Hi, Cyber Joker. Hi. Though I was best at conflict management, so whenever something went wrong, I was the one that had to sort it. Yeah, I'm a conflict mediator myself, but I actively seek that role. It's I like it, I enjoy it, and I'm good at it, and it makes me feel good to overcome interpersonal conflicts. I really enjoy it. So a little bit different there. Oh. Actually finishing the work that I start. That sounds like executive dysfunction. Up above, I linked the Huberman podcast on Focus, and that's perfectly what you want. Focus Huberman. Oh, this is a toolkit. That's not what I want. No, I actually want the ADHD one. That one. Focus and completing tasks. Sorry to just keep shilling Huberman, but I mean, you know, when you've got a totally free fucking high quality neurobiologist from Stanford giving you information, I'm gonna listen. Parent codependency in my 20s, get out. 10%, get a job and leave. Now. If you're still in your parents' house in 6 months and you know that it's a problem, you gotta get out, man. Now. Meaningless existence, says Alexi. It's not meaningless. You just haven't found the meaning yet. The meaning that you now find in your new homework is to go and find the meaning, because it exists, baby. It's out there, and it's in people, and it's in you. Time management, I feel that. The inability to cut unhealthy relationships from my life, that's just fear and pain and fear of causing pain. That's a really, really uncomfortable thing to cut people off. And if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. It's all about pain. Walk into the pain. Finally start to take care of myself, ability to ask help from others, and taking the first steps. So now I'm seeing a pattern here from Alexi, and we get more from Alexi. Accepting myself for who I am, stop being a proud asshole, overcoming the mistakes I made throughout my life, not being afraid of consequences, comprehend the basics of life. Okay, hey, Alexi, friendo, buddy, you're on the path. You're on the path. I'm not going to tell you to chill out, not even one bit. You got to get amped, man. Let's go. Let's go. You're on it. You're on it. Things that you need to change, meaningless existence, take care of yourself, ask for help, take the first steps, comprehend the basics, don't be afraid of consequences, overcoming your own mistakes, don't be so arrogant, stop being so proud, be a little bit more humble, accept yourself for who you are, because you are. You are being, and being is good. So you are good too, okay? And you can be good, Alexi. You can. I'd really recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear, because you've already figured out some of the things to do. Reading that book will help you figure out how to do them. Okay? You hear me? I hope you hear me, Alexi. That book will help you figure out how to do those things. If I had to fix something in my life, it would be getting through my backlog of open tabs with over 90 manga/anime I'm trying to get the motivation to get through. You'd better go and grab those, put them into an anime list somewhere, and close all of the tabs. They're eating away at your attention. The fact that you have all those tabs open, it's eating away at your overall attention continuously. You need to close them all. Just take an hour. It won't take an hour. Take an hour, go through all the tabs, grab the name of the anime, put it into MAL or ANN, and then close it. Open it, close it, open it, close it, open it, close it, open it, close it, blah, 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 blah. Why? Because you're going to sit there in less than an hour from now, and you're going to have an empty desktop with no tabs up. And you're going to have all your anime and all the stuff that you're trying to save still saved in a list, and you'll be able to look at it, and you'll be able to go and deal with it, but you'll be able to open new tabs. You won't be fucked. I did that on my old computer. I found that when I put them into one list, I never got through any of them. That's more of a problem with you than it is with your system of listing. Because I'll tell you that the system of opening a bunch of tabs already isn't working for you, correct? It's already not working? Okay, so you need a different system because that system is not only not working, but actively hurting you. So you need a new system, or how about this? You need a system where you're not trying to watch 90 shows at once, dog. Fucking stop it. Fucking stop it. You need to be focused on one show. And you can have one show on deck. You get 2 things to focus on at a time. One show on deck. Close all your fucking tabs. Count down from 5 and do it now, please, Kikori. Yeah, you're just hurting yourself. I'm glad that you did something today too, Parnik. Do one more thing for me. Take one thing on your desk or in your room and put it away. Just one. Just put it somewhere. Just put something away, please. It helps a lot. And in general, I hope that album is useful for you. I find it to be a very useful exploration of death. So we'll see. I'm glad olive oil. I'm glad that that you've found some success in cutting those off. Okay. Last thing that I want to mention here is I just want to line up my week really quickly because it's Monday and it's time to eval. I've had a couple of interesting ideas that I haven't decided that I'm going to implement. One of those ideas that's just a floater idea is like, well, I've never tried it, but what would happen if I split up recording days and editing days? What would happen if I did that? If I got really amped for a recording day and, recorded a couple of different videos, and then on an editing day, I kind of just sit around and I'm slower and I just edit the stuff. I do the daily brew and then I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go edit videos, and I edit videos all day. Maybe we would spice things up, generate some variety. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a stupid idea. Probably would be a stupid idea, but might be worth trying eventually. As far as the week goes, I've got Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Try it? Yeah, I might. Do you think splitting them would help, or will you start neglecting the one you don't like as much? How would I have to edit the videos in order to do the recording? I have to do both. How would I start neglecting them? Yeah, I still have to do both. Editing day sounds boring and mundane. It's not really. It's a little less exciting than rendering than recording, but that's part of the point. Like, I already have an alternate day schedule in general, which is to say that, well, I go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Might be recording more than you edit, letting them build up. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't expect that will be the case. Regardless, it's just an idea. Kind of like when you had to do all the non-Biori. Right, but that's because I recorded all of the non-Biori at once. Like, that didn't cause a backup. It doesn't fit with your argument, unfortunately. You can get in the groove if you sit down and do something for a while. It may be more efficient, in my opinion. I think it might be too. I'll consider trying it. For right now, I'm not going to try it yet. Yeah, but I mean, you let it build up, not reacting each week. Well, I didn't let it build up. I just didn't want to non-Biori. I just didn't care. I didn't let it build up and then decide to watch it all in order to catch up. I would decide to watch it all because it was called non-Biori nonstop, and I thought it would be a funny meme. It had nothing to do with letting it build up. Mostly, I didn't want to watch it because I didn't expect it would be interesting. It ended up being okay. Anyway, that was one idea that I had. I don't know. As we move into the week, I am going to record something today. We'll see what that is. I don't know if I will get Cyberpunk Edgerunners up. Well, actually, I don't know whether I'll record something today. So I'll say this. I will do one of two things today, and I'll decide after I go and use the bathroom. One of two things today. One of those things would be record Cyberpunk Edge or edit render Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and the other thing to do would be to record a movie. And I don't think I want to record a movie because it's a little much. So I think I do want to just edit and render Cyberpunk Edgerunners so that I'm not more behind, because that would be me building it up. Why not record discussion and reaction separately? Okay, because you can't. Record discussion and reaction separately? What? How would I do that? I'm discussing it when I watch it. Do you mean render and edit them separately? That's what the picture-in-picture versions are. And then I end up with separate videos and less viewership on the videos. No, there's nothing down that path, unfortunately. There's nothing down that path, unfortunately. Regardless, today, something. Tuesday, Poon Poon. Wednesday, Mushoku. Thursday, Gundam. I have to watch Gundam this week. I've missed a couple now, and I can't miss again. Friday, Cyberpunk. Knock, 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 knock. Bam. And that's my week. I'm going to knock this week out of the park, guys. Watch me. Watch me kill it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this stream now as we head toward an hour 40. Thank you all so much for joining. This ended up being a tough one. I asked a serious question, and I got some serious answers. I know which movie I would think of doing. I'm just not mentioning it because I don't want to mention it. I don't want to get people's hopes up. Regardless, thank you all for coming and watching. This Monday's Brew. I hope you have a good day, and I hope that I don't think I've been terribly helpful, honestly, in this one. I just don't think that I nailed it. But the question was interesting and the answers were interesting, so that's something at least. I hope you all have a good day and a good life. I really wish well upon all of you. See you tomorrow for more of the Brew. Peace. And as always, I mean it.